Hi, I'm Bob Vila. Welcome home again to sunny Naples, where it hasn't stopped raining in 4 days. But we've got lots going on here. It's a beehive of activity today. They're working inside the house, sanding floors, installing tile floors. On the outside, we've stopped, but we were putting in a picket fence and planting some palm trees. And we're going to take you to New York City today to visit our sister project on the Lower East Side. Check out the design and the progress they're making there. And when we come back, we're going to put in a new ceiling in the living room. Lots going on, so stay with me. It's good to have you home again.
Sears presents Bob Vila's Home Again.
Our picket fence is a pretty unusual design. Joanne Smallwood, our landscape architect, came up with the idea of alternating boards and 2x2 pickets so that you create kind of a texture along the fence. And the way it's constructed, we've just taken 2x4s and face nailed them onto a 4x4 post. So it's really very, very simple construction. And you've got all the new coming in here, but some of the old is in bloom. These orchid plants have probably been living on the sable palms here on the edge of the property for decades, and they're just now in bloom. We put new sable palms inside this garden area. They're about 15 feet high, and believe it or not, they only cost a few $100s a piece installed, I think about $300. And the other major work that's going on in here is the sprinklering system, which of course is underway but halted right now. We've got kind of a pit over here, and everything is just nothing but mud right now. Let me show you the detail that Al Stiles, our contractor, created for our new front steps to the new entry of the house. He's used pressure-treated lumber and created 3 concentric rectangles, one on top of the other. And he's given a lot of distinction, I think, by mitering the corners of the 1x6 boards so that you get kind of a picture frame effect as you go down, 1, 2, 3. And of course, we've done it on all 3 sides so that you can approach any side of the garden that you will. Then on this side of the house, if you recall, we put in a new deck which will be our screened porch. And right now we've got a lot of progress made because we had to do some major carpentry up here to create enough headroom clearance so that we could put in a screen door. This is going to have a screen door here, and then the rest of it will just be screened panels. And of course we've got a step here which leads to the pool area. Come on. The pool is actually 16 by 34, which is a modified lap design. Pete Gardeski, how are you?
Pretty good, Bob.
Our pool contractor is suffering from the weather, no doubt.
That's for sure.
Yeah, let me get down there with you and take a closer look at what you're doing. Well, first let's take a look at this. This wasn't here last week, the edge.
This is called coping stone, Bob.
The coping stone.
Right, it's a precast material, and it's set in concrete on top of our pool beam.
And it has a nice bullnose on it so that when you come into the pool, you don't scratch yourself. Let me get down there.
Smooth edge.
The tile that you're using, is that a specialized product, a specialized tile
no,
just for pools?
It's a standard pool tile, and we're putting on in a little different pattern.
Yes. I like the colors a lot. Now, I imagine Andrea Clark Brown, the architect, picked these for us.
They picked it, and they also designed how the tile was going to be placed.
So that it's kind of erratic or random how you're...
Right.
Okay. What is it that you're putting it on with? Is it a thin set?
That's a thin set material, Bob, and that'll hold the tile on the wall, and then we'll grout over that.
And you can actually work in this rain, or are you going to have to stop?
We're going to have to stop pretty soon.
Okay, well, thanks for giving us a peek at what it will look like when it's completed. What about the plastering on the rest of the walls?
Well, as soon as we get some decent weather, that'll be our next step.
That'll be the white marble dust, is it?
Marseille finish.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll check with you next week.
Great.
Good luck. Let's
Thanks.
go take a look at our garage, our carport.
Labor and for the road.
Hello, Andrea.
Hi, Bob.
How are you?
Nice to see you.
Hi, Al.
Hi, Bob.
How's it going? I thought we had already done the work on the carport. Are you designing additional stuff?
Everything right now is going to be applied to it independently. It's not part of the structure, but Al's been repairing it.
Yeah, no, the problem we had was that the city condemned this carport. He said we had to tear it down, and you got a structural engineer to come in here, right?
I got a structural engineer to come in here and show us what we could do, and it would be structurally sound when we're done. So the city said we could do it.
And they have only allowed us a budget of $600?
$650.
$650.
Right.
So what have you done? This looks pretty awful here.
Well, this post here, which was over here, we had to replace because it was water damage and termites.
Okay, so that was a 4x8.
Right. So to keep the cost down, we put this post in out of 4 2x4s pressure treated.
Yeah, so you made one up.
Made one up.
Cheaper
right.
than buying a full 4x8.
A lot cheaper, a lot cheaper.
What about overhead here?
Well, where this was damaged, we put this sister beam in through here and spiked it right to the original beam, which made it structurally sound.
That's called sistering.
Right.
A new one, yeah.
Right.
And the plywood, it's really leaky in here.
Well, that's because we haven't got a hot roof on. As you can see, the rain right here, we had no chance to let it dry out.
We don't have a hot tar roof on there
It's going
yet.
to be a hot mop.
Good.
And we replaced, you can see what plywood we replaced up through here, and there wasn't that many damage up there, really.
Yeah, well, you've done a great job on a
Thank
tight
you.
budget, Al. And so you're talking about not applied, but kind of garden features that would dress it up. It's not the prettiest structure, is it?
No, it's not. And what we thought is we'd just make a lattice screen that could then just help shield the carport from the patio. And we've got our carport here with the columns, as we know them. And these are some vertical members that would end up supporting horizontal slats, the tradition of the old slat house in Florida.
Yes.
With some pots placed in front of it so that the slats can serve as a lattice work for those plants to grow up.
Oh, so you could plant vines there.
That's right. Or flowering plants. The bougainvillea is awfully
Sounds
pretty.
And what are you going to do at the other end?
Over here, Bob, we had talked about a storage shed for potting supplies and gardening tools.
So we can't really build a permanent structure here,
No,
can we?
no, it's just an independent unit that's made of pressure-treated materials to survive the outdoors.
Outdoor furniture.
That's right.
It's a good idea.
Yes, and then we've got a bench that we can use as a potting bench area. And the design of it will be a miniature carport in a sense. We'll use the vertical posts and the knee braces and then the little rafters over
and of course, once we get the roof done, it will
right, it'll be easier.
It'll be dry.
To enjoy.
Hey, I love your idea for the tile over on the swimming pool, though. We were just looking at that.
Great.
Very
good.
pretty.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. We're going to have to break for some messages. When we come back, we'll be in New York City visiting our sister project on the Lower East Side. So stay with me. That's the Empire State Building, so you know where we are. And we're on the rooftop now on Clinton Street, a tenement building that was abandoned for a couple of decades and is being renovated by Asian Americans for Equality together with the Enterprise Foundation. When they're finished here, there'll be 10 or 11 brand new housing units. Now, we were here actually a month and a half ago. They began demolition then. We've let that much time go by because the demolition was all done by hand, carrying out all the debris in 5-gallon buckets. We're going to get together now with Aaron Lewitt, who's the rehab specialist here, and he's going to show us all the progress that's been made. Come on downstairs. Hi, Aaron.
Hi, Bob.
Look out behind you. Pretty exciting.
Sure is.
Pretty exciting place. How are you?
Good.
So what's amazing is that on the roof, you better come this way.
Oh.
On the roof, it looks like you've made so much progress, and down here, you're still working on demolition.
There's a few little areas that are left to clean up. We have this area. You can see that pile in the back that's real compressed.
Yeah.
This stuff is a little burnt out debris that still needs to get taken out of here.
Yeah, and everything goes out in 5-gallon buckets.
Everything. Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of 5-gallon buckets.
But you've got much of the work throughout already accomplished in terms of this staircase, which is all steel. You've got it done.
The staircase is all set on steel beams. That's running right up on the roof. That helps the workers, the material move up and down a lot more easily.
And this, of course, gets poured in with concrete on each step, right?
Yeah, in fact, what we're going to use is a dark colored concrete, so it doesn't need painting, it doesn't need any maintenance in the future.
Or any other finishes on top?
Might get polyurethane.
That's interesting. Great. And then you've got all your electrical rough in place.
Electrical rough is all in place, and as you recall last time, this building was full of debris. Everything's come out. There's a point where you can look right through to the clear blue skies.
Right.
Those
look like full-dimensional lumber that you've got up there.
They
What
are.
size are the joists?
These are 3 by 12s. The actual dimension is 2.5 by 11.5.
Yeah.
They're spanning 25 feet. It's a little larger than I think you generally see in residential construction.
But that's a big span, yeah.
It's a good size span.
Yeah. Can we take a look up at the second floor?
Sure can.
Okay, so we're on the second of 5 floors here.
That's correct.
And in the back, what do you have over there?
We'll have a 2-bedroom in the back, and up in the front portion we have 2 studios.
Okay, so we're entering one studio apartment here.
Here we are going through our steel buck that was put in today for our front door.
And this is a bathroom?
This will be a bathroom.
Yeah, about 5 by 8.
Just about.
Just about.
Correct.
And then this is the kitchen.
And here we are in the kitchen, correct.
Now, I noticed that you've got both wooden studs and metal studs in use here. Why both materials?
Okay, the purpose of the wood is to stiffen up the structure of the building. These 3x12 beams that we're using, they're certainly strong enough to carry the building and the load of the building.
It's a 25-foot span.
It's a 25-foot span. But when you walk across the floor, you might have some vibration. Your dishes will rattle, and you'll complain about the construction. So they put this wood in. It goes from the bottom of the beam to the floor. You'll see a double plate above, and it just locks the building together real nicely.
And the thinking is that a wooden partition absorbs that load better.
It has a lot of density there.
Better than the metal, yeah. But the metal's nice. I notice you've also got cast iron.
The New York City building code still requires cast iron. It's not used throughout the country anymore, I believe. Here we see it all the time. It'll last 100 years, just as we hope this building will last another 100 years.
So it's a lot more expensive to work with a cast iron, but you're hoping you're building here for a century, right?
That's correct.
Now, the electricians like the metal studs, don't they?
It's real easy to weave your wires right through the cutouts. You don't have any drilling to do. The metal studs, of course, they just snap right in place. You put a little screw on the bottom, on the top.
Why do you have to have BX, or the armored cable, here?
Well, it's another one of these possibly antiquated New York City building codes. New York City has the toughest building codes in the country. I'm sure it's justifiable on a number of different levels.
You never have to worry about somebody nailing through the cable or anything like that.
Actually, a screw will go into the cable, so you have to protect your screws. But the other thing is, somebody told me it's rodent-proof. We won't have to worry about our rats chewing through our cable.
Rats in New York? Yeah. Now tell me about this situation here where you've got the window. Because essentially we're looking at a tenement, and in a tenement you've got these air shafts, right?
That's correct, to allow air and light in to the inside rooms. And of course you can reach right across and say good morning to your neighbor if you chose to.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. So the kitchen is maybe
Well,
10 feet?
Yeah, we're in the kitchen. It's about 10 feet long. The hallway will be passing through here, so it's smaller than it looks now.
And you get one closet.
Actually, there's two double closets. You have one, and one behind you over here will be a closet.
Yeah, yeah. And then this front room, which is probably about 20?
This is 12 by 20. It's used both as a living room
and
sleeping area.
Yeah. Now, what will this rent for?
Well, as you know, this is a low-income building. This studio would be about $325 a month. It'll be rented to a single person. Most likely the single person is going to be an elderly person. That's why these studios are on the lower floors.
Yes.
Above we'll have the two-bedroom units.
So you'd never have a couple living in a studio like this?
No, because the chances are they'll have a kid, then they're ready to move out. We're trying to get people situated in long-term housing.
In a stable situation, right. Geez, you got a pile of nice brick here, Aaron.
These are going up on the parapet. The cornice, we had a decorative cornice that came down, so we're going to rebuild it with a decorative face brick.
So although you've got all your rough work done in here, there's still a good deal of work to do on the exterior, huh?
They have you can see the brownstones deteriorated, some of the bricks are down, so they have a little bit of cleaning up down out here to do.
Okay, well, what do you have in store for us next time we come to visit?
Okay, they're ready to start sheetrocking probably in 2 or 3 weeks. They have some things to do before they start. They have fire stopping, insulation.
But next time we come back, we'll be looking at finish work and drywall.
The sheetrock will be up, the finished carpentry, the doors.
Yeah,
and
exciting.
You'll see an exciting building.
Thanks for the tour. And of course, you've got a little nice masonry restoration to do out here, don't you?
There's a nice little detail that you're looking at there.
Good. Well, we'll be back after some messages. Well, it's still a downpour out there, so let's spend a little bit of time inside right now. You know, this is one of the best ideas we had to put in a set of French doors for an entry right here. Still a couple of details to do here. But this little porch has become a room of its own. We took out the ceiling that was in here, and we created a cathedral ceiling exposing the rafters, putting in a ceiling fan. And right now, speaking of ceilings, let's talk with Larry Leffel, our drywall contractor. Hi, how are you, Larry? And this will take no time. What size is that sheet of drywall?
That's a 12-foot sheet. I put it up.
Half-inch?
Half-inch, 12-foot sheet by half-inch thick.
Now, why do you use such a big sheet?
Well, the bigger the sheet, the less the joints. The fewer the joints, the less the crack.
Right. So it makes a good idea. It's a good idea to use a large sheet. How do you know where to drive the screws?
Well, they've already struck lines on this ceiling.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't find the trusses
Oh, I
without
see.
that.
So we've got the chalk lines right there
Right.
that show where the joists are on the top. How many do they drive?
Well, we put 2 on each end and 3 in the field. That's the way the screws range. That holds it up there properly.
So 2 on each end. So in each ceiling joist, you've got a total of 5 screws holding it up.
5 screws, correct.
Okay. And then you're going to have joints to deal with, right?
Okay, he was measuring both ends of the board to make sure that the room is square, to keep the board square for his cut that he's going into now.
Okay. Any tricks to cutting it?
Just keeping it straight with what you have,
course, he's
using a T-square.
Yeah, he's had
or by
enough practice
hand.
that he doesn't need to use a straight edge to make that cut. He just uses his tape measure and runs it down.
That's correct.
And then the back paper gets
No.
cut out of the way. And it's ready to
Then
go back up.
he'll take a rasp and clean off any rough edges on it so that it fits nice and tight with what he's going up against.
And you're doing that kind of with a little slight angle, like a back cut, as it were?
Well, if need be.
Yeah.
It depends on what you're putting up there.
Yeah. So you want to have as good a joint before you put the compound up as you possibly can get.
Correct.
The better the joint, the less compound, the less trouble you're going to have.
Right. The neater the job, the better the finish. Okay, he's got his measurements here. He's getting ready to cut it out for the ceiling box.
Well, you got a circle to cut there then.
Correct. And he'll cut out the circle.
Now, it's just a what do you call that tool?
That's the circle cutter, and it's just scoring the board is what it's doing.
So it just has a little cutting edge on the point?
Right, it just cuts the paper. And he'll go around it with a keyhole saw.
Okay.
And with this keyhole saw, if you angle it a little bit, you'll fit into your position that it's going a lot simpler than if you just cut straight through.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a nice tip. Again, it's like a little back cut.
Right.
Okay, so we should better get out of their way, Larry.
Let 'em-
And then this length will come all the way practically to the end of the room here, right?
That's right.
Now, Larry, I've never seen benches like these. What do you call them?
They're called a walk-up trellis. They're adjustable benches. They will go up for different ceiling heights.
Uh-huh.
They have the step also, as you're noticing, they're stepping up on and getting on top.
And they're very safe.
And they're very safe. They're very sturdy.
Yeah. Okay, Larry, any tips on how you fill in with the joint compound?
Well, you put your mud up there, and it has the glue in it. It's an all-purpose compound.
It's an all-purpose compound, and you're using a 6-inch knife.
That's correct. And we'll fill in the gap. That's the recess that they're filling in right now.
This is the two factory edges coming together, so you've got that recess all the way along.
Right. Once he muds this all in, then he'll place the tape over the fracture itself, the gap. Michael here, he's spotting the screws. He's covering each one. Each screw will be covered 3 times on the ceiling.
Okay, now we're ready for the tape. Why do you need the tape?
Well, wherever you have a crack, you have to tape it. You can't fill it with a compound, or the compound will crack again.
It'll contract
Right.
as it dries, and it would crack again.
Right.
Good.
The only way you can correct a crack is to tape it.
Good. All right. We'll be back after these messages. Well, Larry, it looks really good. And in real time, it's only about a 20-minute job, right?
That's about it. That's all it takes.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
Okay.
Alpha.
We got to close for now. Come home again next week. When we'll be doing some very special things around here. We're installing our kitchen cabinets, which were built in the shop by Steve. We're also taking you to New York to check on finish work at the project there. And when we come back here, we're going to be putting in our screen porch and showing you how to hang a ceiling fan. So don't miss it. Till then, I'm Bob Vila. It's good to have you home again.
Production of KQED, San Francisco.